Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Mandy.mak. Today's video is going to be a get ready with me story time. I'm gonna head into work soon. I'm just gonna do a get ready with me, but today's story time is going to be about how important credit is. Because let me just tell you, your girl was almost bankrupt. Yeah. So I'm gonna prime with Too Faced Hangover Primer and my No Problem primer. So, credit. You can't get a car, brand new, unless you have good credit. You can't get a mortgage unless you have good credit. You can't take loans out. You can't get approved for things unless you have good credit. Well, let me tell you, your girl didn't know what credit was. So when I turned 18, I got a credit card. Big mistake. Anyone who is turning 18, get a credit card, get yourself a decent limit, because you do not want to have a high limit and then you run through it and your credit's done. So going on, my foundation, I'm just doing Clinique in the shade, I think Ivory. So I turned 18, I got a credit card. I felt awesome. I was going through, I was like, yeah, we're going to the movies? Psh, that's on me. Oh, you want to go to dinner? Psh, that's on me. Yeah, so that credit card eventually got canceled. Your girl didn't pay her bill. Scotia's like, nope, not playing with you. Done. Okay, I didn't think anything of it. I'm like, I'll just go get another one. But then I went on in life and I now became in my 20s and it was like, oh, you need credit to have a house. You need credit to own a car. You need credit to get a new apartment. Okay, cool. At 19, I finally went to move into a legit apartment. No longer a basement. It was an apartment building. We're good to go. So I went to get approved from these people. And they're like, well, we need to do a credit check. And before they did it, I said, can you hold my application? I'm going to check my own credit score. They're like, sure, whatever. I checked my own credit score. It was in the almost 500s, like almost. And in Canada, how it works is pretty much 530s, like bankruptcy. And then you have like 6 to 640. That's like, you really got to watch yourself and figure out your life. I'll put a chart here of TransUnion. So anyway, so I go and I was like, oh, I'm almost bankrupt. What are you talking about? Like, how could I be almost bankrupt? In Canada, we have 2 huge credit bureaus. You have Equifax and you have TransUnion. So I signed up for a TransUnion account. It tells you your cell phone bills. It tells you credit card bills. It tells you cars you may own. It says delinquent accounts, etc. Well, I start looking through my credit report and I see the Scotia. I see my Rogers. And then I see TELUS. And I'm like, how do I have a TELUS account when I've never owned a TELUS phone? I'm, concerned and I'm like, okay, let me just call TELUS. So I called TELUS and I said, this is my name. I've never had an account with you. What is this? Yes, you have. Like, your name is da-da-da-da-da. You had a cell phone with us and it actually went delinquent. You stopped paying your bill and it went to collections. So we don't even have control over it anymore. I'm like, what?
Seriously? Seriously?
I'm like, say that again? Like, no, I've never had TELUS. Rogers, Fido. Those are the only 2 companies that I've ever dealt with in my whole life. So when I looked back at TransUnion, it was like $7,000. $7,000 in arrears to TELUS. I'm livid. Did a whole bunch of investigating, and someone who I knew had stolen my ID, taken out a phone in my name, ranked up the bill to the nth degree, and they allowed it to go to collections. So it was originally, I think he said $917 of a cell phone bill. $7,000 in collections. My credit was shot. I'm using Tarte Shape Tape. I'm not using that much because I'm just going to work. But anyways, my credit, done. I was so sad when I got off that phone because I was like, what do I do? This person doesn't have the money to pay it back, and they did it to spite me. I couldn't charge this person. I called my buddy, he's a cop, and I was like, hey, like, you know, this is the details, this is what happened. Is there any way to show fraud? And he's like, well, you know, like, yeah, there is, but I'll be honest with you, it takes quite a while. And I was like, what do you mean it takes quite a while? He's like, it could take up to 10 years for the fraud case to go through. And at that point, I was like, you know what? I'm already, I think, 22 at this point. I'm trying to progress my life. And you've pretty much just told me that by the time I'm in my 30s, I might be able to start rebuilding my credit. So I was pretty upset. I was like crying. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I wanted to get a new car at this point. You can't get a new car. I'm just using Morphe's banana powder to just set my under eyes. There were so many things that I wanted to do that credit takes. And I couldn't do anything because this person chose to ruin my life. Longer story short, I ended up paying it. I paid $6,923 to CDI Collections in Canada to get this off of my credit report. Now, when you pay something right away, it doesn't come off. They have up until 2 years after it's been paid to remove it from your credit report, almost like penalizing you even more.
Jerks.
So I fought and I fought and I fought and I fought, and I said, listen, I need you to remove this. I need you to get it off of my report and allow me to live my life. I can't live this life anymore. I didn't do anything wrong. This was on TELUS. TELUS allowed somebody to take an account out in my name. So they cleared it off my report. I sent email after email after email after email, just pleading my case. My score went from, I think it was 537 to 620 overnight because that bad delinquent account was gone. And then you sit there and you're like, shoot, what else is on here? So I'm looking at all my accounts and I'm like, okay, Scotia's on there, but that was my fault. I have to own up to that. So you're able to see on your report your days that you have been late or if you haven't been late. So then I started looking at everything. I checked Fido. Fido had said that I was late over 60 days twice, and that affects your credit score. Pfft, I knew I wasn't. Got onto the email, wrote up Fido, and I was like, listen, oh, sorry. So they fixed it. Don't let companies get away with stuff like this. Your credit is too important, especially as a young adult. You don't think anything of it in high school, and then you become a young adult and try to get things. And unless your parents teach you, which I didn't have my parents teaching me, you're like, oh yeah, it's whatever. I'll take out every credit card I can. When they cancel one, I'll get another. Don't. So that was that. And then I luckily have been maintaining my credit and it's been working out well. I have a new car, progressing in my life. I wanted everyone to know, especially young adults, that there are so many hidden things, aside from someone purposely doing that to you, which this person purposely tried to screw me. Joke's on you. Fido, that was an extra 30 points that Fido charged me for no reason, just because they were mad I canceled with them and went with Rogers. So I encourage every single person, I don't know how it works in the States, but in Canada at least, please, once in a while, once every 3 months, pay that $17 or whatever it is, go on Equifax, go on TransUnion, I prefer TransUnion, and look at your credit report. Look at your score. See what you have that is yours and what isn't, because the amount of time it takes to fight it is ridiculous. Check it out. I know now too, Scotiabank has on their app, you're able to check your credit score on your Scotia app, which is pretty cool too. So that's for all my fellow Canadians out there. States, I'm sorry. I don't know anything about y'all's credit situation. But it's wild. It's wild how people can screw you like that. I'm going to do my eyebrows off of camera and I'll be right back. Okay, so I just did my eyebrows off of camera because you don't need to see that. I'm just going to contour, but that was basically my story on credit. Please, check out your credit. Take a look at it. Honestly, you'll be shocked. You'll be like, are you kidding me? Like, and it's so easy for people to take other people's identity and do things, and you would have no idea, because if they're not contacting you, they're contacting that person. I'm just using Cheek Parade by Benefit, my favorite, to bronze, to contour. But yeah, credit. You really need credit to do so many things nowadays. For the longest time, like, the bank's like, nope, we're not giving you anything. Like, right. Alrighty, now we're gonna get to eyes. And then for today's look, I'm gonna do like a purple look with a MAC pigment. I'm going to take my Modern Renaissance by Anastasia Beverly Hills. By Anastasia Beverly Hills. Hit pan quite a few. And I'm just going to take kind of like focus on the purple shades and build up a base. I'm going to use Tempera as a base. Then I'm going to go in with Buon Fresco. Really just start building that up. Using a Morphe M433. I'm going to take my 35E by Farah. And I'm going to dip into red ochre. Just like a deep burgundy. And just kind of build in the crease. Give it some dimension. Just really build up the color. I have hooded eyes, so you want to make sure that you get, when you open your eyes, you can still see everything up there. That red ochre. We're going with a simple purple look today because I am going to work. So now I'm literally just going to cut my crease with glitter glue and then use my MAC pigments. Oh my gosh. This guy. Shade Pink Hologram. I just take some on the back of my hand and shape that eyelid. MAC pigments scare me because they just like explode. If you saw my Instagram story, follow me on Instagram, by the way, Mandy.mak. If you saw my story like 2 days ago, my cat spilled my glitter everywhere. Just gonna take my MAC 194 brush, just like a flat brush, and coat it with some product. Okay guys, so I don't know if you can even see it. Let me bring you closer. I just sprinkled some glitter glue and just threw it on there. Made it look shiny. I'm gonna go and do the other eye off of camera and I'll be right back. Okay guys, so I did both eyes off of camera. And I love these MAC pigments because they're just loose glitter particles. You stick your glitter glue on and they are like stunning. So we're going to move on to mascara. Recently, Influencer sent me a Vox box, so I received the Marc Jacobs primer and mascara, and let me just tell you, love these, love, love, love. I'm gonna start with the Marc Jacobs primer. So you can already see how long it makes them. Does anyone else have credit stories? It's creepy. Like one time I went looking for like stolen credit stories, and some people, actually a lot in the States, like they go into like $30,000 debt. Like mine was $7 grand. I caught it, paid it, bit the bullet. Some people are like $30,000 in debt because some jerk off stole their identity and got a whole bunch of stuff with it. Anyways, oh my god, I love this look. We'll do lips and we'll finish off with a highlight. So I'm gonna go with a purple lip. It's gonna line it. And I'm gonna go with Splash by Unique. It's a nice little pink, purple. I like it. I haven't used it in a while, actually. You know why I especially like it? The applicator goes into like a point almost. So to really get on that Cupid's bow, because I have a very tiny Cupid's bow. I have small lips. But it really like just arches it and shapes it. And guys, second to last, but not least, I'm going to highlight. I'm going to take my trusty Smashbox LA Lights Blendable in Cheek Color. And I just slap this chubby sucker wherever I want to put some highlight. And then I actually add it with whatever dry highlighter I want because it really makes it pop. You know. So today I'm going to use the Estee Edit Fluid Illuminator powder. And it's just wild. But the Cupid's bow. Ooh, she's glowing. Anyways, last but not least, setting spray. My trusty Morphe Continuous Mist setting spray. And that's it. That is all for my credit gone wrong story. For my, please make sure that you watch your credit. Please make sure that you check your credit score. Call TransUnion, call Equifax. Make sure nobody's screwing you. Make sure that you're able to buy a house when it's time. Not that anybody could buy a house in the market today. And make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Check out my Instagram, Mandy.mak. Check out my Twitter, @Mandy.mak. Check out my Facebook page, it's Mandy.mak. Check out my Snapchat, Mandy.mak. I hope to see you in the next one. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for being here, so much for watching as usual. And I will catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.